Good morning, how are we doing? Hope you guys are well. Look at that, it's a proper bedhead going on. You won't see it if you're on podcast, but it is truly bedhead. Morning, how are we doing? Tuesday morning. And done 2 live feeds so far this week, 1 last night and 1 this morning. The one yesterday morning was about habits. And then last time was really just a little bit of a kick up the backside leading up into Christmas and how one bad decision kind of leads to some others. So check that out. There's a little giveaway on that one last night. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Giving away one of the Dad's Coach sweats. So just formality to start with. If you're listening on podcast, please scroll down and do just leave a rating for me on the podcast. If you scroll down for the feed of podcasts that we have 103 so far. You don't have to scroll down 103, but if you scroll down, there should be a little review system for you to do. And if you wouldn't mind sharing on here, that would be amazing. And we are now taking guys on in the Brotherhood for the Get Fit Christmas campaign. So if you're looking to get fit for Christmas, get in shape, but you need more than just a training program, you need accountability, you need to be around 100 other guys around the country doing exactly the same thing with inspiration, accountability buddies, coaching, live feeds, guidance, phone calls with me, planning, all of that good stuff. It's like £1.7 a day. £1.7 a day, and you can actually go into Christmas fucking in the best shape ever and not even start thinking about all that January hype and bullshit, because January will just be another month where you're killing it. So if you're interested in that, there's a link down below, and if it's not for you, then I'll just give you your money back after the first week. It's no big deal, and you can just keep following me on here. Morning Royal, how's it going? Morning Greg, morning Rich. Right, let's get to this. So let's talk about why health may be not a priority in your life right now. And I think this, by the way, is one of the problems when people do programs or they try to get fit, is one of the reasons the journey doesn't last very long. And the journey doesn't last very long, you know what I mean? Because fitness is just not a priority at your time in your life right now, when it should be. You know, I think through our early 20s, we have so much time to focus on our health, and you're very body conscious. So you might be a football player, a cricket player, a rugby player. You might not be any of them, or you might just be a gym goer. You like to get down the gym, and you keep fit, and you take quite great pride in your body, or being fit and healthy and being able to run around a football or rugby pitch. You know, and as we get through our 20s, do you know what? We tend to meet the girl of our dreams, and sort of priorities change a little bit. You still want to look really good for them. You kind of hit your 30s, and then you kind of get married. You then have a couple of kids, and then before you know it, you've got some responsibilities, and those responsibilities need looking after. So then you're stuck in a job that maybe you didn't want to be stuck in. Maybe you never really saw it as your future job, but you're in it now, and there's not much you can do, and it's stressful, it's overwhelming. The demands are very high, the stress levels are very high, and you're fighting for every penny to make sure that the roof is above your head, of your wife and the kids. And life just kind of gets a grip of you, and suddenly you look at your life and your kids are 7 and 10, and then you're late 30s, or you could be even gone past that and you're sort of late 40s and your kids are like 20 or 18 and they're moving out, and you're kind of just ready to look after yourself. But between that sort of period of late 30s and late 40s, and I even work with men that are in their 50s who are bouncing back and fighting back for their life, fitness just doesn't come top of your priority list. And that is because you've got the blinkers on. I keep trying to put this tea down, hang on. You keep putting the blinkers on, and you feel that because you're stressed and overwhelmed with work right now, that there is no time in your day, in your week, in your month or your years to really get down and commit to a fitness program, or not even a program, just a general routine that is going to improve your health and fitness, which is probably why you look down and you got a bit of a stomach. You know, that's why you're probably lethargic. That's why you're probably exhausted, too exhausted to play with the kids. You know, that element of your life is missing. And right now in your head, your priorities you may think, okay, it's family, you and work, okay, but for a lot of people, it's work, work, work. Like it used to be for me. That's how it used to be for me. I was chasing a shiny object, super ambitious, super driven, and I still am. There's no difference. I'll come on to that part in a minute. And what tends to happen is that we get so consumed with work. Why do we do that? Why are we getting so consumed with work? Why does it suddenly becoming a priority? Why are we focusing more on doing emails at 8 o'clock at night than putting our kids to bed? Because that's not what we want. Deep down, that is not how we pictured our life. That's not what we wanted. We didn't want to be stressing about budgets or what the fucking pressure the boss is putting us under or the travel to work. Okay? You're in that position. One thing I'm going to not do is tell you to fucking leave your job, because then you're going to be in the shit. But if at some point you can in the future, then that's great. But that's not for today's podcast. But you have to be able to still be able to fulfill your work tasks and roles and responsibilities, but still be able to prioritize yourself in terms of keeping fit. Otherwise, you are going to keep piling weight on, and it is not going to be beneficial for your body. So you need to take a check on your priorities. You need to look at what is important and why. You right, boy? So, what's the matter? What's the matter? You look spooked. So basically, when we look at priorities, what I want you to start doing is looking at your priority list and your top 3 priorities. Now, like I say, in your head, what you want is to prioritise is your family. You'd love to prioritise you, and then, you know, kind of put work last. So I want you to put in your priority list you as number 1 for a second. Just take a second to think about that. Now, with you being the priority, that then allows you to be a much better version of yourself. And if you are a much better version of yourself, then you're able to concentrate more on your health. You're able to be a much better employee or manager or business owner. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, you big nutter? You're able to become a much better version of yourself and prioritise your health. Sorry, the dog's all over me. Your work, your business, your life, and things you tend to be in more control. So when it comes to your state of mind, because you are in more control, because you are the priority, you're able to plan, you're able to prep, you're able to build structure, and life becomes a little bit more controlling in terms of the stress that comes your way, in terms of the overwhelm, in terms of the frustration, in terms of your fitness levels, in terms of the gut that you're carrying, you know, because that's your number 1 focus. And the people that benefit from that are your family, which is priority number 2. Okay, your children, because you can play football with them for hours in the garden, you can walk with them, kayak with them, run with them, cycle with them, fucking wrestle with them. Your wife, because you're going to look a lot better for your wife. You're going to feel more in control for your wife. I remember when I wasn't a priority and I was ratty and shitty and like just a shithead, like most husbands are, when they, or boyfriends, when they're fucking stuck in a rut. We take it on the person that's closest to us, which tends to be our partner. You know, and mine's one of the most important people in my life. And why would I want to be ratty and shitty with her? And then you actually benefit from work because you're a much more efficient, productive individual, dad, that's able to focus more on their lives. So simply by taking your focus and your priority of you, where you put yourself last and actually slot it to the very top, you then have a lot more benefits to come from it. But right now you can't see that. Right now that's miles away for you. And the only way that you are going to slowly start prioritising yourself is by implementing small wins 24/7, 365. This is not a process that suddenly just happens. This is not a process that you suddenly, overnight, you go, yeah, fucking I'm going to prioritise myself today. I am fucking on it. Because how long does that last? 48 hours? Maybe a week if you're lucky. So every time that you are saying to yourself, I'm starting Monday, fucking I'm starting here, I'm starting there, waiting for the perfect moment. Let's be honest, it's not going to happen. You have to understand and you have to make the commitment to yourself about why, the purpose, the reason that you want to be much better. Why do you want to be healthy? If you don't, I'd stop fucking watching now. But if you want to be fitter, you want to be healthier, you have to put yourself to priority, so that when it becomes, when you get up the hour earlier in the morning, you know why you're getting up the hour early in the morning, to go and work out and do your exercise and plan your day and get your lunch together. Okay, when you're coming in at home and you're spending the extra time with your children to wrestle them, spend time with them, do their homework with them, take them to clubs, be able to cope better with the day because you're fitter, you have more energy levels. You look down, you can actually see yourself taking a piss rather than your gut being there, guys. And all these things suddenly come into play, and you have to find small wins. We have to talk about what I talked about yesterday, which is habit changing. So changing our habits. Okay, we have to then look at implementing better routines. We have to implement putting in better structure. And it starts with something very simple. Then when we employ that and implement it and maintain it, we then move on to the next step that's going to move us forward, and the next step. The guys in the Brotherhood right now, which is where I'm offering you to come in for your Get Fit for Christmas, are working towards a 12-week program, which is to be amazingly in great, amazing shape mentally and physically by the start of December, so that we can go into December and enjoy December, use that as a maintenance month, and then crush January like it's any other month. Okay, and the reason that just you are not there right now with your priority right now is simply because you don't value yourself enough to prioritize yourself. The blinkers are on, you're in the fucking rat race, you're blinded by the fact that your health is deteriorating, that in another 10 years from now, okay, the way that you're living right now will dictate how you're going to live. And it's only because you're so consumed and your vision is so narrowed because you're stressed out. It's just a little bit of self-awareness. I only ever do this podcast or this live feed because it raises your self-awareness. It makes you think a little bit more. But I can't force you to change. I can't force you to implement some of these changes. Only you can do that. If you join the Brotherhood, then I can certainly have a massive hand in changing the way that you think, and the way that you act, and the way that you move, and how to structure your life. I can help you do all of that. I can't physically get you out of bed half an hour early. I can't physically make you exercise. I can't physically make you see the benefits of changing the way that you live. And you all may be nodding your head going, God, that fucking resonates with me. He's talking to me. Is he sitting outside my house stalking me? That's all good. But you actually have to take the next step and do something, guys. Otherwise, you're going to go in 5 years, fucking hell, that Bell End was right. You know, I was listening to him 5 years ago. I should have listened then. Don't be in the regret party, guys. The regret party is a very painful place to be. Implement small changes, small wins 24/7. Right, guys, I'm going to hold it there. So I'm going to stick this up in a podcast and send it out ready for the daily email. So remember, if you do fancy joining us to get fit, there's a link down by there. It just explains everything. Join us for 3 months. And then after that, if you want to continue it, it's like $8.50 a week. Think of how much you buy a week that you really don't need. Beer, chocolate, coffees, looking extra Babe Station channels. I know what you lot are up to. Okay, so if you're interested, then do just fucking get in touch. If it's not for you after the first week, dude, we'll refund it within 10 minutes of getting your message. It's no problem at all. But thank you for watching. Appreciate it. And don't forget to drop a review on the podcast or share if you're listening. Thanks, guys.